Today, we're diving into an interesting topic, the idea of apologizing in relationships, particularly when it might not actually be necessary.
Yeah, there's this common scenario where one person in a marriage, often the husband, will apologize first during an argument, even if they're not entirely at fault. But does that really help?
It's definitely an interesting dynamic. The argument might still be unresolved, but the apology seems to act as a temporary fix, right? But in the long run, could that be doing more harm than good?
Absolutely. Apologizing first can seem like a way to ease the tension, but it might send the wrong message. If you're apologizing without understanding your mistake, you risk allowing the other person to avoid taking responsibility for their own actions.
That's true. In fact, if you apologize too easily or too often, it can create an imbalance. The other person might start thinking they were right, which just makes future arguments harder to navigate.
Right. And it can snowball. Imagine a scenario where the husband continually apologizes in every argument. The wife could end up collecting these apologies, almost like proof that he's always the one at fault.
Oh, wow. And eventually, it's like the entire relationship becomes based on these apologies. The husband could feel stuck, always writing apology letters to fix things. But this can backfire, especially in situations like a divorce.
Exactly. If the wife has all those apology letters, she could use them in court to paint the husband as the one who was always in the wrong. It's crazy to think that a simple sorry could end up turning against someone like that.
And that's why we need to rethink the way we apologize. Apologizing just to avoid an argument can lead to bigger issues later on. You should only apologize when you truly understand where you went wrong.
That's a great point. Apologies should be genuine, not just a tool to end an uncomfortable moment. And it's important to make sure that you're not just appeasing the other person to keep the peace.
So in the case of the husband and wife, if the husband is constantly apologizing for things he hasn't actually done wrong, it's going to hurt him more than help him in the long run.
Exactly. It's about having the confidence to stand your ground when needed, and not just give in to avoid conflict. Otherwise, you risk making yourself vulnerable to manipulation.
And that's the key takeaway here. It's not just about avoiding arguments. It's about taking the time to reflect, understanding your own mistakes, and offering a meaningful apology only when it's truly deserved.
Yep, and let's not forget, taking a break and having some space can sometimes be more beneficial than rushing into an apology you're not ready for.
Definitely. If we take a moment to think and reflect, it can help us approach the situation more thoughtfully. Apologizing shouldn't be a reflex. It should be an act of understanding.
Exactly. So next time you're in an argument, remember, it's not about who apologizes first. It's about recognizing the real issue and handling it with honesty.
Well said. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, keep reflecting on your actions and how you communicate in your relationships.
Take care, and remember, sometimes silence is more powerful than an apology.